In the first part of the movie set in Paris, there's an assassin sitting by a window looking outside. His timer beeps, nearly making him fall asleep. After a while, he wakes up, still thirsty and now wearing gloves. He's not named, but they call him the killer. He relaxes in his chair, listening to music. Watching people living their lives, he decides to do some yoga, push-ups, and sit properly. Nothing too tough. Leaving the room, he goes down lots of stairs, puts on sunglasses and a hat, then checks out a bike using his phone. Quickly getting things from a nearby cafe, he talks on the phone, saying someone's coming soon, mentioning a 5-day wait, and just 2 more days left. Coming back inside, a narrator talks about how the killer won't book airbums because of hidden cameras. When it gets dark, he sets up his sniper rifle aimed outside. Suddenly, someone opens the door behind him. He gets ready with his sniper, but it's just someone delivering mail and leaving without any trouble. At sunrise, he stays at the window thinking about how tough it is to handle boredom. His job is boring, so he creates accidents or uses slow poisons to get ideas. He does usual things like cleaning the sink and ends up in a makeshift bed. Taking a nap, he sets alarms to check if his target's coming. During one check, he sees curtains open at the target's place. A car arrives and a maid gets ready for a VIP. Setting up his sniper rifle again, he sees a man inside the house. Putting bullets in, he moves his bed to match the window, seeing more people go into the building. The maid welcomes more guests, so the killer wears his earphones and sees a woman taken to a room. He follows her, wearing a hoodie, and says confidently, "I don't give up." Focused with his earphones in, he watches the man until his watch warns him about his heartbeat going up. Looking back through his scope, he finally sees his target through the window. He gives himself this whole spiel about morals and stuff, and funny enough, it actually brings down his heart rate. But oh, the target's wife is in the room too, and when he takes the shot, he totally misses. Then, to add to the comedy, the guard closes the blinds, and now he's got to pack up all his spy gear. Quick as lightning, he slaps on a motorcycle helmet and dashes for his scooter. Zoom, off he goes, with cops swarming in from every direction. As he's racing away, he tosses his gun into a garbage truck like he's playing some wild game of catch. But hey, the police are on his tail soon after. So, he pulls a move straight out of a Jason Bourne movie, zigzagging through alleys, just barely dodging the cops. Finally, he parks at the foot of some stairs, ditches the helmet, and starts his vertical sprint. Guess where he ends up seeking refuge? Yep, the gnarliest public restrooms around, courtesy of a gas station. After a quick makeover, think spy style, not glam, he hops into a nearby cab bound for the airport. Here's the hiccup, he spots a Belgian Malinois in line and takes a hard pass, finding himself cleaning up and changing plans. He sorts out a plane ticket, gives a debrief to someone on the phone, and lands on the flight, where lo and behold, he spots a seriously sketchy dude. Later on, at his destination, he locks eyes with the same guy. Then, surprise? The flight offers a delay option with perks, so he jumps at the chance for a voucher and a free stay. Smart move. Once in his hotel room, he's setting up tricks, like putting a glass on the door handle and chilling on the couch. The next day, he sneaks out ninja style and heads for his next flight, earphones in, flying high above. Finally, he's back on the ground, cruising in a car through some seriously stunning scenery, living that spy life on the move. So, our dude rolls up to a gate, expecting a laid-back day, but oh snap, Haute Prince. He transforms into an action hero, snatches a pistol, and vaults the gate as if he's gunning for a role in a superhero flick. Sprinting like his sneakers are flaming, he tails those boot marks, arriving at a mansion throwing a bizarre horror-themed bash, complete with blood splatter. Cue the overdramatic gasp, code red. He rings up the hospital, but twist of fate, they're having a power outage. Great timing. In the hospital, he bumps into Marcus, who spills the beans about a damsel in distress. Cue the suspenseful background music. Magdala, the sister, spills the tea about the attackers, a guy and a gal. She stabs the dude and hides like a ninja in a bathroom. Marcus thinks the attackers wandered off, mistaking the killer's crib for a happening party spot. In an unexpected twist, our killer becomes the least intimidating hospital companion, chilling by Magdala's bedside. She wakes up, swears she's a vault of secrets, and he's all, phew, thanks. Time to dig, literally. He uncovers a covert underground safe, channeling his inner spy. Packing his bags, he hits the road, playing detective. Come night, he's all, hey, emergency chauffeur, anyone? And when they swing the door open, he's Sherlock Holmes in a digital labyrinth, uncovering his target. Mailing a cryptic package to Dolores, he goes undercover like a sneaky ninja. Spying the driver, he tails him, and when he finally requests a lift, it's not for cash but for some juicy gossip. Tapping his pistol on the glass, he's all, spill the beans, pal. The poor driver spills the tea, branding the duo he drove as freaks. Forced into chauffeur duty to a secret mansion, he's stuck there like a pizza guy awaiting a tip. And voila folks, that's how Boot Detective cracked the case with a dash of humor. The bad guy, not caring at all, decides to get rid of the driver. He gets a new fake identity and goes to New Orleans, stopping at a storage place to hide his van. There, he picks up some guns, files, and a new license plate for his vehicle. Strangely, he also grabs power tools and even a banana. In the busy city, he sees a woman named Dolores and thinks it's time to start his plans. Pretending to be a garbage man, he sneaks into her building, playing a mental game to time the closing door. Taking a sip from a water fountain, he uses the chance to keep the door open. When Dolores sees him, she's scared stiff. The bad guy grabs her and holds Hodges at gunpoint. Hodges recognizes the bad guy's job and tells Dolores to do whatever he says. After locking Dolores in the bathroom, Hodges spills the beans, admitting he put the bad guy in trouble when he missed a shot against a powerful person. Turns out, Hodges is one of the big bosses the bad guy worked for. Hodges shares his sad story saying he built everything from scratch. But the bad guy wants to know where the backups are. Hodges insists there are none and he won't hurt the bad guy. But surprise! Hodges gets hit in the chest with a nail from a nail gun. Equalizer vibes, right? Hodges has 6 minutes to save himself but dies right there. Now, with Dolores next on his list, the bad guy learns she knows the names he's looking for. She spills the beans, asking him not to make things messy. Ignoring the voice in his head, he sets her free. Sadly, she faints when she sees Hodges tossed into a garbage can. Later that night, Dolores is taken for a drive. She screams and tries to escape when the bad guy steps out of the van. No luck. She reluctantly helps him go through files to find the people who raided his house. Only one name comes up, Claiborne, the client. In a crazy twist, he kills Dolores, complaining about always having to clean up the mess. He's quite the psycho, isn't he? Feeling weary, he checks into a motel, cleans up his van, and grabs a quick meal. With not much else to do, he decides to go to Florida. When he arrives at the provided address, he spots some guys there. As night comes, he sees them leaving, so he decides to follow them. One guy goes back to his house. Approaching the fence, he meets a big barking dog. Throwing it some food, he waits until the dog returns to its owner. Patiently waiting again, he enters the property when the dog is not around. Moving quietly, he finds the dog napping and goes into the house through the front door. Inside, the man is in the shower. Sneaking to the bathroom, he hears the water knobs turn. Encouraging himself, he's surprised by a tough opponent. Pinned down, he stands up, and a crazy fight begins, destroying everything around the house. Breaking stuff on the man's face, the killer puts him in a chokehold, but the man escapes, and the chaos continues. In desperation, the man grabs a gun but gets hurt. The killer grabs whatever he can find, hides behind a door. The bleeding man, moving towards the last door, faces the killer who gets a pistol, hurts the man, and finishes him off. In a wild escape, he dashes for his life when the furious dog chases him. Once he feels safe, he throws a Molotov to set the house ablaze and hide his tracks. The next day, he heads to the airport, catching another flight, this time to the bustling New York City. Opting for public transport, he rents a car and heads to the supposed house of the subcontractor, keeping a close eye on it as he did with the others. After a much-needed break, he waits until nighttime, spotting a woman matching the description from the earlier taxi ride. As she starts driving, the killer tails her, maintaining a cautious distance. The radio plays in the background as the woman takes a turn, prompting the killer to make his move. However, distant sirens force him to halt. He continues following when the car stops, revealing she's dining at the waterfront. Switching back to his internal monologue, the killer forcefully joins her table, pointing his gun. Surprisingly, the woman, calling herself the expert, shows fear. She asks if he gave Hodges a gruesome end. Remaining silent, the killer is unresponsive as she tries friendly gestures, offering food. The expert claims innocence in his wife's harm, blaming the brute who the killer already dealt with. The killer, being his usual psychopathic self, stares at his next victim while she talks about morality and the hypocrisy of their work. The expert suggests he could have killed her in various ways but chose to talk. In response, he takes her outside, making her walk and chatter endlessly. Attempting reverse psychology and even faking a broken leg, the killer doesn't fall for it. He ends the conversation with a clean shot to her head. Now, our guy isn't done hunting yet. He's looking for the next person he wants to deal with, someone important. But it's not going to be an easy job. He keeps an eye on the person's place and heads to the parking lot when he sees a chance, but he runs into a tough door handle. No problem, though. He goes on Amazon, buys a fob copier, and sees his target relaxing in a car. When night comes, he meets up with someone selling weapons, getting whatever a crazy person could want. Once his Amazon order arrives, he goes to the gym where his target works out. Taking the janitor's card and sneaking into the changing rooms, he catches his target using the janitor's card. The target's locker opens and the guy swipes a card from a wallet. With the device he bought earlier, he copies the card and cleverly puts it back. Now armed with the copied card, he waits for the building's parking gate to open and smoothly uses the card to unlock the door. Taking the nearby elevator, he goes up to the 27th floor and walks into the rich guy's place. The rich guy, choosing a drink, freaks out when he sees our guy. The rich guy has no idea who our guy is and offers money, but when the gun is pointed at him, he almost begs until our guy asks if there's a problem. The rich guy, confused, figures things out when he sees the card. He explains that after the missed shot, someone recommended getting rid of our guy. The rich guy uses his smooth talking, genuinely saying he has no issue. Our guy warns him of a slow and painful return if needed. With that, he leaves the room in the street, heading to his final destination. He goes to the Dominican Republic where he enjoys a calm cup of tea with his now healthy wife. And that's the end of the story.